So what role do you feel like leaders actually play in fostering that resilience and psychological safety during moments of change? That can be really hard for employees.
Leaders play a pivotal role in fostering resilience and psychological safety during moments of change. Resilience starts with modeling. Leaders who show vulnerability, acknowledge uncertainty, and still move forward with purpose give their teams permission to do the same. It's not about having all the answers. It's about creating space for learning, adapting, and growing together. Ultimately, leaders are the bridge between strategy and humanity. During change, their ability to connect, clarify, and care is what transforms disruption into opportunity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5th season of CultureClub X, powered by CultureMonkey. I'm your host, Jodie. CultureMonkey is an enterprise employee engagement platform that helps people leaders listen to their employees and enhance workplace cultures. CultureClub X is our community initiative where global leaders share best practices from their experience and discuss all things company culture. For the 3rd episode of CultureClub X, we are honored to have with us Lauri Romano, a former Director of Learning and Development at Bausch Health. Welcome, Lauri. It's a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
We're so glad to have you. And we understand that you have spent 2 decades shaping organizational growth by building leaders who can thrive through uncertainty. And these are uncertain times. At Bausch Health, you led enterprise-wide leadership and learning initiatives, helping managers navigate highly complex and changing healthcare landscapes. Before that, you spent more than 8 years at Horizon Blue Cross and Blue Shield of New Jersey, designing and driving programs that fostered resilience, agility, and continuous development across teams. It sounds like in your earlier career, too, that included a lot of pivotal roles in talent management, organizational development across sectors like pharmaceuticals and engineering, and it all gave you a broad perspective on how culture and leadership intersect in different industries. You're alum of Villanova University and hold a bachelor's degree in sociology and a human resource management certificate, and it grounds you in an approach in both people, science, and business pragmatism. And so now you're reflecting on your career and you're continuing to share your expertise with us and organizations and leaders everywhere, building that culture future readiness. We're so glad to have you, Lauri. I love the introduction. You have a tremendous amount of experience to bring to this podcast.
Yes, I do. I've been in this space my entire career. One of the few that can probably say that.
I bet that's true because a lot of people change careers. You know, they hop from one industry to the next, and you've been at it for a long time. So thank you for joining us today on this episode of CultureClub X, Leading Through Change, Building Future-Ready Leaders. So before we dive into this conversation and this discussion, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your leadership journey?
Yes, I started out in learning and development a long time ago when we still used overhead projectors and had no technology to really teach people and leaders. And we did things that were fun and we liked to do. And now the world has changed. We need to do just-in-time training and really make leaders ready instantly to face the challenges that are coming their way.
That's fantastic, Lauri. It's so true. The age of overhead projectors might be over, but we still like them, right? We'll bring up a PowerPoint every now and then. I love that. Well, thank you so much for just sharing a little bit about your journey today. And to get started with our conversation, I obviously have my first question for you, which is, what do you see as the biggest challenges that leaders face today in guiding teams through this constant change?
One of the biggest challenges leaders face today, I believe, in guiding teams through the emotional and cognitive toll of constant change. It's about managing logistics or rolling out new initiatives. It's about helping people navigate ambiguity, maintain engagement, and really stay resilient when the grounds keep shifting beneath them, because that's what happens when a change occurs. Leaders are being called to show up with both clarity and emotional intelligence which we hear a lot about these days. And what that translates to is communicating transparently, listening deeply, and creating psychological safety so teams feel supported even when outcomes are uncertain. It also means being adaptable, being open to feedback, learning in real time, and really showing vulnerability when appropriate. Another challenge is balancing speed with sustainability. In fast-paced environments, it's tempting to push for quick wins, but real transformation requires space for reflection, skill building, and trust. Leaders must be intentional about pacing change, aligning it with purpose, and equipping their teams with the tools and mindsets to thrive, not just survive. Ultimately, leaders who succeed are those who can treat change not as a disruption, but as a catalyst for growth, and who can bring their teams along with empathy, vision, and a steady hand.
So, Lauri, why do you think that so many organizations struggle to prepare their leaders for that uncertainty, and what's missing in traditional leadership development?
Many organizations struggle to prepare leaders because traditional leadership development often focuses on static competencies. Things like decision making, delegation, and communication, without equipping leaders to thrive in ambiguity. The reality is uncertainty demands a different skill set. Adaptability, emotional intelligence, systems thinking, and the ability to lead through complexity without clear answers. That's definitely a challenge, especially when you're preparing leadership programs. What's missing is the intentional development of mindsets, not just skill sets. Leaders need to build comfort with discomfort, learn how to pivot quickly, and foster resilience in themselves and their teams. That means moving beyond workshops and frameworks into experiential learning, coaching, and real-time problem solving. It also means creating space for reflection, vulnerability, and growth, especially when the path forward isn't linear. Organizations that succeed in this space are those that treat leadership development as a living system, not a one-time event. They invest in continuous learning, build psychological safety, and empower leaders to lead with both clarity and compassion, even when the future is uncertain.
So what qualities or skills do you think are most critical for leaders today to implement that, for their people, especially for keeping employees engaged, during that transformation? I know you said vulnerability is a big one.
Yeah, in today's landscape of constant transformation, I think the most critical qualities for leaders are empathy, adaptability, and clarity of purpose. Employees aren't just looking for direction, they're looking for connection. Leaders who can communicate transparently, listen actively, and show genuine care for their teams build trust, and that is the foundation of engagement. Adaptability is equally vital. Transformation often means ambiguity, and leaders must be comfortable navigating the unknown while modeling resistance and optimism. That doesn't mean having all the answers. It means being open to learning, pivoting when needed, and empowering others to do the same. And finally, purpose. When employees understand the why behind the change and see how their work contributes to something meaningful, engagement skyrockets. Leaders can align transformation with values and vision, create momentum that's not just strategic, but deeply human.
So what role do you feel like leaders actually play in fostering that resilience and psychological safety during moments of change? That can be really hard for employees.
It sure can. Leaders play a pivotal role in fostering resilience and psychological safety during moments of change. In fact, their presence and behavior often set the emotional tone for the entire organization. When change hits, people look to their leaders, not just for direction, but for stability, empathy, and trust. Resilience starts with modeling. Leaders who show vulnerability, acknowledge uncertainty, and still move forward with purpose give their teams permission to do the same. It's not about having all the answers. It's about creating space for learning, adapting, and growing together. Psychological safety meanwhile, is built through consistent communication, active listening, and inclusive decision making. When leaders invite diverse perspectives and respond with empathy and make it safe to speak up, even when things are very messy, they create a culture where people feel valued and supported. Ultimately, leaders are the bridge between strategy and humanity. During change, their ability to connect, clarify, and care is what transforms disruption into opportunity.
That makes a lot of sense. And everybody talks about leadership programming. How can that leadership program embed empathy, inclusivity, and trust as core capabilities for managers?
Leadership programs can embed empathy, inclusivity, and trust not just as soft skills, but as strategic capabilities that drive team performance and culture. It starts with intentional design. Programs must go beyond theory and create space for self-awareness, reflection, and real-world practice. That means integrating tools like 360 feedback, emotional intelligence assessments, and coaching conversations that help managers understand how their behavior impacts others. Empathy is cultivated when leaders learn to listen actively, suspend judgment, and respond with curiosity. Inclusivity is built through exposure to diverse perspectives, bias interrupters, and exercises that challenge assumptions. And trust, well, that's the outcome of consistent value-based leadership, reinforced through role modeling, transparent communication, and accountability. The most effective programs are also embed these capabilities into everyday leadership moments, performance reviews, team meetings, goal setting. So they're not just learned, but they're lived. When empathy, inclusivity, and trust become part of how managers lead, they create an environment where people feel safe, seen, and empowered to grow.
Really well said. Absolutely. So leadership development, is core to all of that, and evolving it to help managers adapt and thrive in a changing workplace is key. So what practices have helped strengthen culture that you've seen?
Leadership development, I believe, must evolve from static, one-size-fits-all models to dynamic, personalized ecosystems that prepare managers to lead in a tech-driven world. As AI and emerging technologies reshape how we work, leaders need to be more technical fluency. They need adaptive mindsets, emotional intelligence, and the ability to lead with both data and humanity. Programs should integrate real-time learning, coaching, and scenario-based experience that mirror the pace and complexity of today's workplace. We need to teach leaders how to interrupt data ethically, foster inclusive innovation, and navigate the human impact of automation. That means embedding digital literacy alongside empathy and helping managers build trust even as workflows become more digitized. As for streamlining culture, technology has been a game changer. From optimizing LMS platforms to deploying engagement surveys and 360 feedback tools, I've used tech to create scalable, transparent systems that reinforce values and drive connection. When used intentionally, technology doesn't replace culture, it amplifies it. It allows us to be better listeners, respond faster, and personalize development in ways that truly meet people where they are.
Really well said. Thank you, Lauri. Well, it's definitely clear from today's conversation that future-ready leadership isn't about, one-off programs or rigid frameworks. It's about equipping managers and employees alike to thrive amid that change. We touched on how resilience and psychological safety anchor culture, why empathy and inclusivity need to be at the heart of leadership, and how technology is actually reshaping what it means to grow and adapt in the workplace. At the end of the day, the leaders who succeed will be those who can listen deeply, adapt quickly, and lead with trust. Lauri, it's been such a privilege to have you on Culture Club X today. Before we sign off, could you share with our viewers how they can connect with you if they'd like to continue that conversation?
Sure. They can connect with me via LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I have a lot of information there. And also, if they would like, they can email me at lauriannromano@gmail.com. And that's LauriannRomano @gmail.com.
Perfect. Lauri, your wealth of experience has been just a delight to listen to today. Some really innovative ideas for people. So thank you once again for your time and wisdom. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow, share, and rate this podcast. As always, keep listening to your people and leading with purpose. That's all we have for you in this episode of Culture Club X, powered by CultureMonkey. Until next time, this is your host, Jodie, signing off.